Hey there, thanks for watching this week. Today I want to talk to you about 8 questions that you need to ask yourself before you start. And I think that a lot of times we've started things and we have not asked ourselves the pertinent questions that need to be asked. And we have quickly jumped into that territory with very little information about ourselves and our position on what we are starting. And I'm hoping that this video is going to be helpful for you before you start anything. Number 1, you need to ask yourself, are there any predecessors in what you are starting? So if you're starting a business, has there been somebody that's gone ahead of you and done exactly what you want to do, or something similar to what you want to do? If it is a blog, is there somebody that blogs in a way that you love? Is there somebody that actually does what you want to do? So predecessors are helpful because they are role models. You can look into their lives, you can learn from their strengths, you can learn from their weaknesses, and you can listen to their documentaries that have been made about them. You can read autobiographies, you can even read books that they've written. Somebody once said that impartation is not only about the laying on of hands, but sometimes it's just about reading a book and learning. When you read someone's books, you can be able to tap into their mind, you can tap into their knowledge, you can tap into their atmosphere, you can tap into whatever it is that allow them to be as successful as they are. So be in the habit of reading. The second question that you want to ask yourself is, what sets me apart? What is so different about me? Because clearly there are other people that have done what you want to do, I'm assuming, and if there's somebody that's done what you want to do, then you need to have a distinguishing factor. You need to have that factor that distinguishes you from the rest of the crowd. Somebody once said something very beautiful. They say, we are very afraid of what distinguishes us, but in many cases it is what distinguishes us that actually makes us great. So your distinguishing factor is ultimately what will set you apart and what will make you great. So what is so different about your business? What is so different about your idea? What is so different about your blog? What's so different about the way that you're going to be doing whatever it is that you want to start? Is it in the personality? Is it in your personality? Is it in the way that you're going to be treating people? Is it in your location? Is it in how you're going to craft your whole vision, or maybe your principles sometimes? So what sets you apart? And you need to be able to know what makes you different, and you need to be able to maximize what makes you different. The third question that I'm hoping you're gonna ask yourself as you prepare to start is, how does this thing feed into my purpose? Because I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that are doing stuff that is not ultimately feeding anything into the ultimate goal that they have for their lives. And you've got a purpose. You've been created for a purpose, and I'm hoping that by now you know why you've been created. And if you haven't, and you'd like me to do a video on that, please just leave a comment at the bottom. But you have a purpose and you've been created for a cause. Now, how does what you want to start feed into that purpose? Sometimes you just start something because it's a hobby, or maybe sometimes you start it because it's just a cause that you want to stand for. Nothing necessarily correctly and rightly identified to your purpose. And sometimes you start something because it's a stepping stone to the purpose. And sometimes you start something because you know it is the purpose. It is the very reason why you're here. And so being able to distinguish between those 4 different categories allows you to actually be able to know how much time you invest in what you're doing. So what is it that you're doing? Is it just a hobby? Is it just a cause? Is it a stepping stone to your purpose? Or maybe it's your purpose. So know how ultimately what you're doing feeds into your purpose. I've been following Hillary Clinton quite a lot these days, and what I realized about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton is that they were very intentional, super intentional in the way that they actually did their life and the journey of their life. Everything that they did always was feeding into them ultimately wanting to be the president of the United States of America and the First Lady. And so I'm really encouraged by the way in which they were very intentional, and I'm hoping that you're also going to catch on to that bug where what you do is literally very intentional to your purpose. Number 4, are you ready for the change that what you are starting is going to effect in your life? Because trust me, whatever it is that you start is going to require more of you. It's going to require your attention. It's going to require you to be inspired. It's going to require you to give a lot more of who you are. Are you willing? Are you willing to actually engage You have to ask yourself this question so that you know way before you start, or lest you start and then you leave something in the middle. The fifth question that I would encourage you to ask yourself is, do you have a plan? Now I promise you, listen, you are never going to get 100% of what is on that little paper that you wrote your plan down on. But you know what they say? They say if plan A doesn't work, then at least there are 25 other letters in the alphabet that you can still use. And so there's always plan B, plan C, plan D. But you need to have a plan A, because plan A is your guideline. Plan A is going to help you. And even when you face obstacles along the journey, you can always just maneuver around them and get back on track on your plan. So I encourage you to have a plan. It's good to plan. Number 6, are you passionate enough about what you're doing? Because I promise you, I have seen a lot of people that have been burnt out, that have died down. They started well, but they didn't have enough passion to actually fuel this truck that they were driving. And they found themselves in the middle of nowhere with no fuel, no desire, no excitement, no enthusiasm about what they're doing. And they didn't have enough craft and enough work and enough content to continue with what they were doing. And so you gotta ask yourself, do I really feel so enthusiastic about this thing that I want to start it? Because sometimes you are passionate about something and you can just help somebody that's already doing that thing. And you don't necessarily have to start your own thing. But if you are starting something, then at least have enough passion to keep you moving, keep passioned up, and you keep fueled up. Number 7, are you willing to put in the time? Because I promise you, there's going to be days that you will have to sleep late and wake up early because of that vision that you had on your mind. It's not all fun, even if some of the stuff that we want to start is really fun stuff to us, but it will still require us to put in the time. Now, are you willing to give a chunk of your life? Because literally that's what time is. It's a chunk of who you are that you are giving to a cause, that you're giving to a business, that you're giving to something that you're starting. And time is a non-renewable resource. Once you use it, you never get it back. So are you willing to give a chunk of who you are to that thing that you want to start? It's a question that you need to ask yourself. And the last question, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Your strengths and your weaknesses, when you know them, they are your advantage, because you can maximize on your strengths and you can start working on your weaknesses. And sometimes we're jumping into different territories and we don't really know what is our strength in that territory and what is our weakness, so that we can actually learn from it. So I encourage you to write down a list of your strengths and your weaknesses and start working on them. And as you start, I wish you all of the very best of what life has to offer. And I'm hoping that you're going to be a trendsetter, that you're going to be a world changer in whatever it is that you're starting, and that you're going to be distinguished, and that you're going to be able to actually encourage other people to start whatever it is that they also want to start. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, and as always, I encourage you, if you like this video, please thumbs up. What that does when you like our video is that it pushes it up so that other people can actually be able to see it when they search for a certain topic. And please subscribe to our channel for more videos. And remember, you might not be the smartest at what you do, you might not necessarily be the best at what you do, but nothing substitutes passion. And I encourage you to be inspired, to be passionate, and to be fired up on whatever it is that you're doing. Thank you so much for watching this week. Yeah, bye.